Diese Konferenz wird nun aufgezeichnet.
А тут я буду без этого, у меня будет музыка. А ты можешь проводить?
Hello, and a very warm welcome to our Labiesthetic Education follow-up webinar. We are very excited to get in touch with you again. We deliberately choose the platform GoToMeeting to get a little bit more closer to you and our audience by seeing us all. As no broadcast time, this is convenient for all countries. We again have the possibility to make a recording and make the content available for other countries, or if you would like to repeat it. Anyone who doesn't want to be seen in the recording, of course, you can turn off the cameras. My name is Tenrike Körner, and a few of you might know me already. I'm supporting the trainers team, and I have already met some of you. Claudia Zandron is with me here today. Claudia is the head of education and guiding us through the topic of interactive training of labiesthetic education techniques. Hello, Claudia. So nice to see you.
Hello. Nice to see you, Henrike, and all the others here online. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to be in contact with all of you. And I would like to invite you to leave your cameras on. It gives us a nice feeling of coming together. And I have a question. Who is there with an interpreter? Please leave your cameras on so we can adjust our speaking pace. It would be ideal if we could see the interpreters with the camera. So we would also like to invite you to get in touch with us. So if we are going too fast for you. So now I'm really looking forward to a very successful meeting today.
Oh, thank you, Claudia. Yeah, that was really, really thoughtful of you. So for those who joining us with interpreter, just switch on your cameras so we know that we are on the right page. Tatiana.
Hello, yes. Oh, we're
Hi. Great to see you. Hi.
Nice to see you too.
Can you maybe tune? All right, that's amazing. Thank you very much. So to get ready, you must have our webinars last about 2 hours, and we have planned a break for 10 minutes in between. Make sure your coffee or tea is close by. Stay hydrated.
Thank you.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you, Tatiana. Would you mind turning off your microphone? Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you very, very much. Hello, Klaus. Nice that you're joining us today as well. Hi there. All right. So to get ready, let's start again. You must have, of course, coffee or tea close by. To stay hydrated, get a glass of water, as I did it here as well. And we also would like to interact with you. For this, you need your mobile phones. Later, I will explain it more in detail that you just scan the QR code. But also, if something is really interesting for you, have a pen and a paper close by to note things down. Okay, if you have any questions, we will either answer them right away if there are comprehensive questions. General or more in-depth questions will be answered at the end of the webinar. Jenny, hello there, she's sitting right next to me. She is from the training department and is checking on our chat box today and helping us with the technique. Hello, Jenny, and thank you very much. The webinar will be recorded again, so don't worry if you have any technical problems. Ideally, you should always use the app instead of the browser to access the seminar. All right, so I was previously explaining to you that we all need our mobiles today to scan the QR code. If you have an iPhone, you can just scan the QR code that we are sharing with you on the presentation right now, or you go and open a tab and you can just go to the browser function, go to www.menti.com and then enter the numeral code 60558 For the first survey, which is about to be published, you may have already scanned the QR code right now. It is best to leave the website Mentimeter on. There will be more interactive questions during the whole webinar. But don't worry, we always fade with the code. We will always represent it to you. So let's do this right now. I'm actually joining as well. So I'm taking my mobile. I'm opening the camera function, as you can see here. This is me with the camera. And then I'm scanning the QR code. Then a window pops up here and you just open it and then you can join the Mentimeter there. And then we are asking you from where are you listening today? So I'm in Pforzheim, so I'm entering Pforzheim here and submit. Feel free to do it as well. That's going to be exciting and we can be in touch with everybody. So Jenny, what do you think? Has already some of us joined the Mentimeter? Can you share with us? Oh, Pforzheim, Heidelberg. UK is there as well, Berlin, I think that's, yeah, Warsaw. So Poland is there as well. Hello, great, welcome. Do we have others joining us for the Mentimeter? Let's tackle it again. I think, yeah, that's it. So perfect. Thank you very much. Mentimeter is a really fun way to interact with you. Oh, from Croatia as well, Scotland, Sarajevo, Heidelberg. Oh, great. That's really nice. I'm so glad that you all joined us today. So feel free to join us, to get in touch with us using the Mentimeter. All right. So Claudia, I think that was a good introduction to your next topic, right?
Yeah, thank you so much, Henrike, for the introduction into this meeting today. No matter what country we come from, I'm sure you all have had participants who have challenged us as trainers. I'm sure every trainer has sometimes experienced a tired group of students or those who were not motivated. Today, people can distract themselves even more easily. On the one hand, we have to introduce rules on how to deal with smartphones in the training. And on the other hand, we have to check whether our training can be better adapted. How do I make the participants say at the end of the day that it was worthwhile for them? The salon owner has high expectations and wants us to motivate the team. Often he might want to be motivated himself to the topic. And I myself, as a trainer, I also want to go home with a good energy and be able to look back on the day with great satisfaction. In order to get off to a flying start with our presentation seminars after Corona, we have to keep reflection on whether our style, our training style still fits. This is the topic of our webinar today. First, we talk about how to engage the audience, the students by the 4-format training philosophy. This is a journey we would like to take you on, and bit by bit, you will find inspiration for interactive techniques in the trainer manuals in our conception. Today, we would like to give you some ideas and food for thought that are easy to implement in the presentation in your live face-to-face seminars. We intuitively get many things right, of course, but some things are simply often overlooked. That's why it's good to remind ourselves of the basics. We talk about how we can avoid losing participants' attention in our trainings, and we talk about how to get more enthusiasm into the training by using more interactive techniques. So it is worthwhile today for experienced trainers who are willing to learn, but also for newcomers. Especially when you create a webinar, an online seminar, you don't have much time, not more than 45 to 60 minutes, and you need to be aware of how to quickly fascinate your audience. You are not seeing them. Later on, Henrike will take us into the basic knowledge of digital seminars, so-called webinars, and give us an insight into how we can present ourselves well as speakers and how to webinar. I look to Tatjana. Please give me a thumb up if it's okay.
Hello, Claudia. Yes, it's okay. Thank you. I hear everything. I translate. Everything is okay.
Perfect. Yeah. So I look onto your side then and wait, and I see you're still
okay.
Talking.
Thank you. Yes, if you can do a little bit pauses so I can translate. Yes, all the points. Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let's start then. Let me guess, what's your goal? A fully booked out academy, even a waiting list for the seminar? Times have changed. People check very carefully whether the journey is worthwhile because we all have made the experience that we can also get a lot of information online. Our face-to-face seminars must therefore offer much more than just knowledge transfer. We need emotions and social interaction. Actually, we have been talking about this in the trainers community since the 1970s, but now there is no other way of doing trainings. We have to move from lecture into interactive training. What do you achieve with the interactive learning style? What is your profit as a trainer? If we proceed in this way, we will achieve twice as much attention from our audience. We get double implementation in the salon and double excitement. The probability of implementation increases. More fun as a trainer, and our participants will love coming to our seminar, to our training. It will be much easier for them to accept what we teach and put it into practice in the salon. At the end of the day, we trainers are measured by whether our training has made a difference in the business. To be precise, it's about the turnover we increase. We all want more success. Last time we talked about the fact that there is a motorway to being in contact with people quickly. We have learned about the different learning preferences. What is our goal? Ideally, we all have a similar training philosophy for versatile training. Contents are conveyed in an interesting and brain-friendly way that creates enthusiasm. We are happy to have the opportunity to share this knowledge with you and to inspire you and get also inspired by your feedbacks. I have an exciting question for you. Whose brain is working when trainer is talking? Who has all the candles lit in the head and whose brain burns like a matchstick? When the trainer is talking, his brain is working at full speed while the participant's brain goes into energy-saving mode. Conventional training tends to keep people physically inactive for long periods of time. This is also a big challenge in online seminars. Who learns the most? The listener or the speaker? The speaker, because his brain is working. And why is that? Speaking and listening to your own voice at the same time has the most positive effect on memory. It is called the production effect. So just because we listen doesn't mean we apply what we have learned. Statistically speaking, only 5% of all participants in continuing education programs put the knowledge they gain there into practice. 95% listen to everything, and they are even enthusiastic and never open their documents again at home. Inspired by the reflection of Berenice McCarthy's format learning, we have developed our training formats on the basis on this system. Motivation is the key of our training. Some of us are watchers. They need motivation to do something, to take new information. Or you are more a thinker who likes to lay back and think about and take in the information. Look up and Google things. Maybe you are a person who likes to take in information by feeling. You want to experience and you rely on your own experience to evaluate. Others need to discuss, to talk about, to take in the information, and we can combine this. The 4 styles emerge. Let's start with number 1, the why learner style. These are the participants who want to be more passive and observe in the seminar. If you are a why type, you listen to someone and ask yourself why this should be important to me now. If you do not receive a satisfactory response to this question, the topic will pass you by, regardless of whether it might be of any use to you or not. 35% of adults first need a good reason to learn. They need the meaning, the greater purpose. Why is this significant? Why should I invest my time? In order for these participants to join in enthusiastically, right at the beginning, next foil please, of our training, the question of why should I learn this must be answered. They are interested in other people and process with other people. They enjoy what others have to say at a particular topic. They want to talk themselves, not just listen to the teacher. They enjoy lessons that are well prepared, so they are nicely sprinkled with knowledge. They expect to be entertained. They like a good infotainment. However, since we have very different participants and also want to be in touch with all participants, we have to adapt our training method to our participants. The trainer has to take on 4 different teaching styles in the course of his seminars so that he has all participants on board. The motivator ensures emotional participation. The trainer himself must be enthusiastic about the topic. He must set the participants on fire. Only those who are on fire themselves can set others on fire. We have to convey meaning and benefit. He has to ask good questions, to share experience with the participants and asking for personal opinion or the other participants. We have to make the topic interesting with storytelling. For instance, tell a practical example. Talk about your own experience. Sorry. I can't emphasize this enough because it is so easily overlooked. That means already at the introduction to the seminar, to each new topic, we have to ask ourselves, why should the participants listen to us today? We often argue from the point of view of the entrepreneur. That brings more turnover. But not every employee has a turnover as a goal. Employees want to serve their customers well, so that they get appreciation, admiration, praise, so they are recommended to other clients. Do you know the arc of tension? How do we make a topic interesting? There are different ways to do this. In our concepts, our trainers' manuals, we find the so-called 6 points dramatic composition. It is the arc of tension for the subject we are teaching. We describe the problem of the hair, of the skin, or the customer request, and emphasize the impact, the consequences. This helps the participant to understand why the topic is important. Then we can talk about the solution. How we can solve the problem, what kind of products or service we need. From the participant whom we have to motivate, we now go to the participant who always wants to know everything in detail. Please estimate how many participants in adult education would like to know everything in detail. Now take your mobile phone again and if you want to scan your QR code once again and just put in what participants are in the training. Just put in the figure. Is it 50% or more, 20 or up to 30%, or is it less than 20%? Just estimate, what do you think? It's interesting. It's still movement in there. So yeah, it is not easy to assess this correctly. I'm now very curious to see how you vote. We see yes, but this assessment is not unimportant so that we can adjust to it in our training. We are now closing the survey and looking at the result. It's there, so it's 50% voting and the most of you voted 20 to 30%, and that's very good. Just a few thought it's less than 20. Actually, it is the next slide, please. It's 22% of all adults. Next slide, please. Jenny, are you still there? Jenny, are you still there? Yes, you are. 20% of all adults would like to have the background and the context dewed out and explained to them. They like to sit in the first row of the seminar so that they get everything. This participant is often very pleasant for us. They are quiet. They usually look at the participants' documents at the beginning of the seminar. But they become uncomfortable when the trainer does not provide enough information and is not profound enough. They are interested in what the expert has to say, what data is available, what knowledge can I gather. The feature for good training for them is the amount of information. They want to know everything down to the last detail. They like to read up and are only satisfied when they have received a lot of information. They keep the participants' documents for a long time because they never know if they might need them again. So they like a well-organized learning environment. And the trainer with strong knowledge ability, he has a high credibility. This is a factual person who wants to know exactly what is happening in detail. They are interested in procedures and processes. By the way, this what type is particularly widespread among scientists. Since we are hairdressers, we are not scientists, we can assume that this group appears less often in our seminars. We have the participants in the seminar who want to know a lot, but those participants, they mix up, they confuse knowledge with ability. We need to be aware of the level of training we are sending. How much knowledge does my participant need to get into application, into implementation? We must not overtax, but also not undertax the knowledge. So that they are able to apply the products or the services in the salon. The Labiosthetic Trainer's Manual, the conception you get from Germany, they give instruction here in the teaching objective of nearly each lesson. Which trainer style do we need now? For these participants, we have to show strong competence. Know our product down to the last detail. We get acceptance when we can answer all questions. That means always being up to date with knowledge, be well prepared. The participants, the student, is annoyed when the trainer is searching around. His place is messed up and seems disorganized. Often trainers have the opinion, the perception, if I give my participant a lot of information, then I have done a good job. But we lost the other persons, the other participants. They get bored. They need activity. I always check my trainings. If I get tired myself, I know then I have to change the teaching method. Our teaching strategy, trainer is always up to date with latest expertise. We offer good training structure, well-organized flip charts, well-organized working place. The training premises must be tidy, the product shelf is tidy, everything has its order. For 20 minutes, you can go into details, but not longer, to avoid others to be bored. Offer information in printed form or digital. And from the participants who wants to know everything in detail, we now go exactly to the opposite. This type is an explorer, an improviser. They love the experiment. They always want to know how something works. They want to do things themselves and to try things out. They need instruction for action they can follow. Knowledge without implementation seems worthless for them. Everything revolves around problem solving and possible application. Listening for a long time is a torture for them. They won't immediately move into doing it. They think the theory is not necessary. They are real hands-on. They appreciate a trainer who has a real-world credibility. They love to take information by doing themselves. They have to try things out, develop a feeling for themselves, and a well-executed demonstration is important to convince them. In seminar, we need time for exercises, for role play, for hands-on. Many trainers do not dare to practice because they believe that the participants can already do it, but that is exactly what is important for many topics, such as consultation, client approach. Our teaching strategy is now more like a coach, a companion. We let the participants find their own way if this is possible. But be careful. Failure must be impossible for the participants. They don't like to be paraded. They don't like to fail. The new generation only knows likes. They don't know dislikes. So please check your trainings. After 20 minutes of real input, we need activity in the seminar, such as group work, self-experience, hands-on, demonstration, letting people feel the product, and so on. There can't be enough practical work for these participants. They always state in the feedback that there was too little time for it. Surely you already know this model of teaching and of learning success. This model shows the process of how learning needs to be made more successful. Let's have a look. If we only listen to somebody, only 20% of the information will be recorded. Just imagine, we watch a haircut in a show without vocal explanation what the hairdresser is doing. If we mainly watch, learning effect is only 30%. If the trainer demonstrates well and explains well, knowledge absorption increases by 50%. And here it comes. If you give the opportunity to put this, what you have heard, into your own words and repeat it, then the knowledge uptake increases to 70%. Why is this so important to speak, to retell? The brain actually learns the most when we hear our own voice. In the past, it was normal to learn aloud. Today, we learn silently. To retell is therefore a very important step in good, successful learning. If the participant is also allowed to apply what he has learned directly, then we are at 90% success of learning. This leads us to the fourth type. What if participants, they like to actively discuss how they can apply the new knowledge in practice. For them, the future scenarios are important to jump on or be convinced of something. This is about transporting what has been told into the future and describe the consequences of the project or what would happen if the project did not take place. On average, a quarter of listeners belong to this group. 25% of adults learn the most by discussing concrete application in their daily lives. What if participants actively discuss how they can apply the new knowledge in practice? This type thinks further. He puts his experiences around and tries to apply them in other areas. They are the visionaries who are interested in the possibilities, practitioners who want to use opportunities. They also weigh opportunities against risk and think about everything. What else can I use this for? If you see someone who makes a book holder out of a coat hanger, then they are certainly a what else type. The what if type, for whom the future scenarios are important to jump on or be convinced of something. This is about transporting what has been told into the future and describing the consequences of the project or what would happen if the project did not take place. This brings us to our fourth role we must play as a trainer. We are in the role of the colleague who helps how to put the content into practice. If we discuss, always at eye level to help them to get clarity. They like peer-to-peer exchange of experiences. And at the end of your seminar, give your participants lots of praise, appreciate their contribution to the seminar. By asking good questions, we can be in good contact with these participants. What are the consequences in everyday life? How do we stay on top of it? How do we maintain the motivation? This part, transfer into the salon, is often neglected in the seminar. I strongly recommend always integrating the implementation in the salon after each topic. How do you address the clients? How can we apply this? If you only talk about implementation at the end of the seminar, then this participant is not on board the whole time. Let me summarize. The task today is not to impart knowledge, but to apply the knowledge. Many already have so much knowledge, but don't access it. There is an ideal sequence that has proven itself. I use the 4-format style for lecture, for training, for webinar designs, for everything. If you want to convey a lot of information in a short time, in a very motivating way, then this is the key. Convey the core messages 4 times in a row. Why is this important? What exactly is it? Let me try themselves learning by doing, and how to implement in everyday life and make sure there's clarity about transfer in the salon. This is bigger than just a style of training. This is about what has to really happen in our trainings, that learning goes into learning transfers. You need a good balance between the 4 different ways, of course. In the next follow-up, you will dive into the conception, into our trainer manuals. But until then, I would like to give you a few things that everyone can apply immediately in the training. Start the training playfully. All people like to play in all countries of the world. We just have to make it meaningful. A few examples of how we can set the tonality right at the beginning of the training. That is important. Whether we play a largo or a vivace, in which concert would you like to be? We set our marks at the beginning of the training of your training concert. So welcome, ritual. You already know it. All Labiesthetic seminars start with the same ritual. This is the recognition of the Labiesthetic DNA. Let the participants choose whether they need relaxation or activation. Put a few drops in the hand, massage in the temples, under the ear and the neck or the wrist. Everyone massage themselves. Or if you have the time, it's possible, they can work on each other. Find a common frequency. Participants are not a homogeneous mass. So we do not imagine a uniform group, but individuals waiting for personal conversation. Entering the world of the participants by finding a common frequency. Find out, who are my audience? We're sitting there, boss employees, trainees. What are their challenges? Classic rounds of introduction are boring. They do not activate. I would like to introduce you one, and this you can use and adjust to your training. For instance, you can ask, how much experience do you have? On a scale of 1 to 10, 0 knowledge. 5 is okay. It's little knowledge. 8, I'm well informed. I have good knowledge. And 10 means I already can do the training on myself. Of course, it's a bit of joke in here. Participants then stand up and position them in the room themselves to the group they fit in. This brings movement in your training, and your start is completely different to this, what they already experienced. What is the benefit for the trainer? In the first 5 minutes, it is important to start actively. Otherwise, the participants go into a consumer mode, and it is difficult to get back into activity and conversation with them. And you know, you have to think of a good opening that fits your training topic. We use it to set the key of our seminar. Is it major or minor? You will find many suggestions and more ideas in the conceptions in our trainers' manuals. I have another one for you. You can lay out pin cards on the floor or stick them in the salon to the mirror. and ask the participants to join in their group. Please stand up in the group of your current natural hair color. Do you still know it? Is it red, blonde, gray, dark, brown? This immediately loosens up the group. It is fun. They talk to each other. And you can use this information later on during your color training, for instance. Feel free to explore and try out what you find in our trainer's manual or conception. And if you might come to Pforzheim, we can dive in and try them out and have fun with it. Work with open question. Check yourself as a trainer. Do I really have to answer it myself, or can the participants figure it out for themselves? Lead to the solution through questions. It seems to be easy, and in fact, it is quite exhausting if you are not used to it. Use open questions. What are open questions? These are questions that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. What do you know about Lab Aesthetic? Why do you like the product? What was your experience? That's just some examples. You have to prepare the question for each training until you get a routine. Otherwise, it is very easy to fall into the trap of telling the long story. At the same time, the question must always be goal-oriented so that we use our precious training time properly. Don't interrupt. Give time to think and listen to the full answer to your question. One picture is worth than 1,000 words. Use visuals whenever it's possible. You will find ideas for flip chart design in the trainer's manuals in the conception. The brain can memorize and remember a picture much better than spoken text message. We have developed the learning posters for this purpose. Now we come to another topic. How can we be interactive in the webinar? Add text to your slide during presentation. That's very interesting. We can take notes live, either what the participants already have written in the chat, if you don't see them, or if you can talk to them, and thus make it visible for all, or what the audience should remember. And we can lead the written text again directly in the presentation, or we simply do not save the file. You're probably wondering if you can use this technique with any PowerPoint version. Let's have a look how it is working, and you have to find it out with your version. I activated a tool in my PowerPoint presentation that I didn't know it is existing. First, activate the tool, the developer tool. Access the file menu, select first PowerPoint options. In Customize ribbon, in number 2, select the Customize ribbon. 3, make a tick, a check mark at the developer checkbox. Once you have done this, you just have to click on OK. The tool is activated. But we haven't finished yet. Now comes the most important thing. Now you can return on your presentation into your PowerPoint, and you will discover the new tool in your taskbar. Click on the Developer tab. Here your text box is in your PowerPoint now. Now you can add text in live mode. So we have to adjust the text box now. We mark the text box you have set in your PowerPoint by using the right mouse button to open the drop-down menu. The property sheet appears. Here you can select the font and the font size. This is important, otherwise the text box will not work properly. Next step, select the font. We need a clear font without serifs. The font should match your corporate design. We use the Futuria STD, and the typeface can also be selected and adjusted. I use medium typeface. Don't forget to adjust your degree of writing, your font size. I choose 24 points. But we are not done yet. Now comes the crucial part. We still have to make some adjustments at the Enter key behavior. Switch the key from false to the button true. We have to make the same setting in the key multi-line. Switch the key from false to true. As the last setting, we change tab key behavior from false to true. Now we have made all the settings and we can use the interactive text field now. As I used it the first time, it seemed to be Greek for me. But after using it several times, I became used to it and it's really useful. Just have a try or go into YouTube. You will find good explanations there. As I said, not only impart knowledge, but also ensure the transfer, the implementation into the salon in a face-to-face training. We take at least up about 10 to 50 minutes. It depends on the type of the seminar. Let's take some time to talk to the participants about what they would like to do with what they have learned. That's exactly what we would like to know from you now. What are you taking with you from this presentation?
Oh, we would like to get stuck of the situation. Please go again to Mentimeter and take your time writing the feedback in there. What have you already take away or take with you or take along from this first part? What do you want to change in your training? Just give us your feedback and we will talk about what you're writing now after the break. So if you guys like, let's have a short break, about 10 minutes, and then see you soon again. I hope you all have taken away a lot of things. Thank you very much, Claudia. It was really, really interesting. And really great that you dived into this for us again. Thank you.
See you later, guys.
Thank you. See you later. Yes. Bye.
All right, we are back on track. I hope all of you got just a tap up on your water, or maybe you got nice cup of coffee again, or tea, or anything else. So great that you're all back with us and joining us. And let's have a look what you took away from the first part. So some of you, one of you wrote to have in mind that what kind of participants you have in the group. So thank you very much for that. Now I have an. Oh, Tatiana, maybe. Can you mute your mic? That would be perfect. Yeah, thank you very much. Oh, I'm still hearing my. Do you know where this is coming from? Oh, no, it's gone. Right. Okay, lovely. Thank you very much. So to motivate participants by asking. I'm sorry. I just have a technical problem here. Okay. Is it still? Let me just quickly switch it off. I will be with you in a second. Okay, it should be gone now. And let's go ahead then. Sorry for that. So you never know where this is all coming from. Okay, so what did you take away from the first presentation? One of you wrote that you have different participants in the group to motivate the different participants by asking more questions, presenting important facts, engage with the exercise, and discuss how to implement everything into Salon. One said it was very informative. Thank you very much too. And another one wrote that they achieved great inspiration. So thank you very much. Claudia, have you is this okay with you? Is that a good feedback? What do you think? Oh, Claudia, we can't hear you now. Sorry.
Yes, yeah. I realized. Yes, I think it's great. It takes there's some sound in the background. Yeah, now it's got. It takes time. I'm working for about this topic really for quite a long time, and it always takes time to really put it into the real training. Then the theory sounds quite easy, but to really implement it in the training, it's a task, and it's always a challenge. It depends what kind of trainer somebody is. Yeah. For some it's more easy, and for others it's more difficult. Because you're a certain type of learner and a certain type of teacher on the other side.
Yeah. I'm always the one about motivation, and also how can I do this? So I'm a mixture of both, and I always try to find it hard to put as much important facts for the blue type in it. So it was really interesting. Thank you very much, Claudia. And now I'm trying to be a bit more open to the blue people in my presentations. All right, great. So as you already might noticed, the world is changing and we are moving with it. As you might notice, in the last year, we developed a new format to get in touch with you and our salons. During the pandemic, we got a huge request by salons to educate on a theoretical base. And we started slow and small with little webinar sessions, and now we build up a little expertise about how to get in touch with our students in a digital way. I'm pretty sure you all might have already experimented with webinars and digital presentation and how to set up an online training. But today I would like to share with you our experience and how we do it. It's to inspire you and to share our knowledge. Feel free to share your experience with me too, maybe later in the webinar or at the end, and so we can all merge our wisdom together. So let's start with the Mentimeter to see how important online training is actually for your country. So do it again as we did it in the beginning. Get your mobile, scan the QR code, open the Mentimeter here. Oh, there we are. And then you can see, go to slide, genau. How interesting is online training for you? And now you can just well, very interesting, or not so much, or just a little, and then submit. And then it's send it. And wow, let's see. Jenny, can you tackle first the Mentimeter? So a few of you said it's very, very interesting. You could also say not so much or just a little interesting, but it seems that everyone is really like, oh, we need to get knowledge on that part. We need to share our wisdom and our experience so that we can be a bit more, well, you say successful. Secondly, I would like to know if you guys already have held an online training. So that's the next Mentimeter, and you can just push refresh or you can scan it again. And I'm asking you there if you already did you already held an online training? And you can choose there again. Yes, a lot, because I did. Maybe you only had a few or a little, or you didn't have any experience at all there. Then submit, and then we can see how many of you already have experience. Oh, a few of you only a little. One said not at all, so welcome to this new topic then. And a few of you said like, yes, a lot. I think it's due to the pandemic as well. That we all now get lots of experience there, and yeah, we have to move and we have to change. Okay, so as you might notice, it's becoming more and more important to educate in a digital way. We as Labiosthetik in Germany are right now developing a new format, but till this is perfect and finished, we would like to take you along our first steps that we made so far, so till today. We noticed the students and the salon owners are becoming less and less interested to send the staff for product-based training into one of our academies, especially during the pandemic. They either prefer to ask for an in-salon training, or the staff prefers to choose the more creative courses in our academies. So we decided that we now need to adjust the training concept to keep a stable education about our products, because this is key to transfer and to educate and get them selling and recommending our products. We still get salons excited. Well, we also need to still get salons excited about Labiosthetik. So we're still building on the system, but webinars have become a major part of it. Today, I will introduce you to our webinar style, and maybe we can inspire you for you to do it the same way or similar in your country. The extreme intense corona pandemic opened the society up for the advantages of technical supplies. Of course, we already knew Skype, but nobody was talking about Zoom before 2020. In a very short time, we got used to calling each other by video, we were working from home, and got in touch with the whole world without actually meeting. I'm pretty sure this hasn't been easy for everyone, because everything had changed and things were different than we were used to it. And well, also our whole experience got questioned within a second. It has an enormous impact, or it had an enormous impact on our confidence, and we all questioned our previous work strategy. So did we. The upcoming years will be influenced by this time, by this questioning, and we will take you along on our journey, because society is changing, as I said previously, and needs have adjusted, and we would like to participate. Okay. Due to new technical possibilities, we now support the wish of our salons to make theory knowledge available without traveling. The salon now can join us on a webinar from home or from work or in a smaller group on demand whenever they will. We provide these webinars based on a regular calendar, which is available on our professional site, on our professional website. You can see now down there, there's the education calendar, and they can join in a small group, they can get together, they can stop the webinar if it's a recording or whatever they like. So they can also work along, and it's kind of a melting theory and hands-on as they like it. All right, so it's becoming very popular, and our salons appreciate the quick and useful knowledge bites, or you can also call them nuggets. Webinars are an easy way to complement a blending learning system. So you use digital device to provide the theory knowledge, and when you meet your clients for creative hands-on workshops, you can concentrate on techniques, on brand excitement, and of course on bonding with your clients, with your salons. Let me quickly show you what you have to consider by setting everything up. Yeah, okay, so you see it's a long checklist down there. First of all, you have to consider platform, the client consultation, communication, sorry, not consultation, communication, the personal preparations, the setup, the PowerPoint, what should I do with it, the interaction, and also your own personal development. So when we talk, let's first talk about the platforms. And when we talk about platforms, you have to consider Zoom. It's so popular right now. Everybody knows it. I'm not sure how it is in your country, but even schools are using Zoom. You use it for private use, everything. Everywhere is Zoom. As I said previously, Zoom hasn't been on the radar before 2020, and now everybody knows it. That's developed so quickly, and they have so many tools. But we have chosen a year ago for to go with GoTo. GoTo is GoToWebinar or GoToMeeting. And we decided for GoTo because they have a bit easier data restriction and regulations, which fits better to the German regulations. But Zoom or GoTo, you could also go for Adobe Connect, you could use Teams, whatever you prefer, whatever suits your clients best and whatever it's easier. Especially for the Asian country, Zoom is, I think, one of the best options. Well, I have no experience about Russia, but you will let me know probably later. All right, so you have to choose the one you're comfortable with, and it's worth looking them all through. Important for successful training is the possibility of communication and interaction. The options you can choose, the options to choose more than one speaker is very important, and to have someone in the background to manage the technical part is always very, very helpful. So have a look into it if you can join the regulations or the technical thing. Today in the background, Jenny Dieterding is supporting us, as we previously said, and it's really, really helpful because now I can concentrate on my talk, and she's actually managing the PowerPoint presentation and also the chat function. All right, great. So let's see. So when we talk about platforms, yeah, I think that's it. But now we are coming up to the next topic, the technical setup. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, now maybe you can switch back because it's about the client communication, and that's very, very important too. Because before I go to the technical, because if you do not invite your salons, you do not get them on board. And to get them on board, you have to invite them by a newsletter. You can put it on your websites. You can invite them by social media. But always the best choice to invite them is by staying in contact with a salesperson. So your sales rep has to call them, has to motivate them, or maybe just send them an email or something personal, because when you're personally invited, it's much easier to join. It's much more committing, and then your clients will join. Because they are not so used to this type of education yet, it's a bit more effort to invite them right now and do it on a personal way. But later, when people will be more used to it, I guess the newsletter or put it up on your websites are also very sufficient. Yeah. Okay, so when we talk about the invitation, well, sometimes, or maybe you also setting up for a digital event when you launch a product and you decided to do it in a digital way with a webinar. Sometimes it might be nice to send a little box with a little gift before. Maybe you've seen it with other fashion brands or everything else, where they send a little box. They have the invitation card with a QR code they can scan, and they immediately get into the GoToMeeting platform or Zoom. And maybe you can put a little product aside, maybe a little snack or a little drink or something else. This is always really, really nice, but you could only do it when this webinar is paid for, because, well, to send everyone attending a little present by mail, that's a quite expensive choice to do. And yeah, but this is a bit a way how to engage a bit more intense and to motivate your clients to join for your webinar or product presentation. Okay, so in a normal way, it's totally sufficient to contact them by newsletter, to put it on your websites, use social media, and also get in touch with your sales rep to get them excited about this. Okay, but our next topic now is the technical setup, because we figured out that sometimes, of course, everybody could open up their laptops and just use it right away. But if you look good and well prepared and you present yourself in a good way, your presentation is more emotional. It's better connecting. So a good camera is always worth an invest. Of course, you can use the camera which is included into your laptop, but this can be a bit blurry. Maybe it doesn't have such a good tone to it. It's definitely worth having this little camera on top. We use these Logitech very successfully. Almost everyone has it, and the picture is in a much better quality. It works much better with the lighting, and you look much more beautiful. And since we're working for a fashion or beauty brand, we should present ourselves in a good way. Yeah, and let's see what else needs to be prepared from a technical perspective. And for this, we use a light, the Elgato light. Of course, you can also use a ring light. A ring light would be placed behind the camera. The Elgato light, you can see it on the little picture on the left side, is a huge LED panel. You should also place it, behind the camera or close to the camera, and to light up your face. If you have a big LED panel, the light is like an open window. It looks like you're in the outside. It's not so sharp and not so hard, and it perfectly sets you into the right light. It gives you perfect spotlight. Okay, so let's see what else we have there. Let's talk about the tone. Okay, you're listening to me now, and I hope my voice is quite okay and good and easy to listen to. There should be no other noises around, right? It's only my voice. No shh or sometimes when music or air conditioning is in the background, you could hear this. So make sure you sit in a silent room for this webinar when you're presenting, and make sure that you can keep your hands free and that you can keep your ears and face free. And for this, we decided to have this microphone from Rode. Rode is very easy. I can actually lift it up so I can show it to you. This is the microphone that we are using. And this microphone neutralizes all the noises around us and sets the focus onto my voice, and also balances my voice. So if my voice is a little bit too pitchy or too low, it makes it a bit more even. It catches the perfect tone and also makes it much, much easier to listen, hopefully. I hope you feel it that way. All right, good. It has a good sound quality. It keeps your hands free. And when we come up to hands free, you have quite a lot on your desk when you give a webinar. Of course, you need your mouse, you know, to guide yourself through everything else, but very important. And I would say one of the best, yeah, it's just one of the best things is that we have 2 screens in our office. So we always work with 2 screens. One, I see all of you and have my notes on, and on the other screen, I can see my presentation. So I can overlook everything I need within a second and stay focused and stay organized. And it just helps me to, you know, set up a calm environment for me to deliver my content in a perfect way. And of course, I always keep water close by. And having those 2 screens is just really, really important and really good when you want to hold a successful webinar. Okay, so 2 screens is good, but I was talking about presentations earlier, and Claudia also showed us how to work interactively with our PowerPoint presentation. But setting up a PowerPoint presentation for the webinar, it is very important that you choose emotional pictures. Yeah, well, it's all about pictures. Pictures are presenting the emotions and they get your audience connected with the topic you're explaining. As you might notice, Claudia and I do so. We don't choose the regular company stock pictures because we need a bit more of emotional pictures and less branding for a successful webinar. So we choose stock builder from the internet or old pictures we find suitable for the emotions we would like to trigger. Always remember your audience taste and do not choose from your own perspective. Because sometimes you might consider like, oh, this is a cool picture, this looks amazing, but it is totally not matching with the needs of your target group. So when I talk about hairstylists, they have a huge aesthetic, yeah, I would say it's very important to them that a picture is nice and modern and pretty. So that's always a good perspective to choose from. Okay, so try to slide from, well, when you move to the next slide, try to just get 1 minute per slide, because when you have 1 minute per slide, it's a bit more interesting. It gets them a bit more into emotional interaction. Try to slide the next page within minute after minute, and different to the PowerPoint presentation you have in live seminars or live trainings, a personal training. A webinar presentation needs a quicker change of slides and bigger pictures, and very, very important, less words. That's very, very important, because we tend to put as much information as we can put into our presentations, and the PowerPoint presentation for a webinar should have less words, big pictures, easy to get and easy to look at, especially because we are only having it on for 1 minute. Okay, so you can use interaction to bond and to communicate with your audience. I'm glad Claudia already explained to you how to do it in a webinar, but how can we actually do it? As you can see, you can choose. You can use the chat function, like we did it here. I will just quickly give you a note into the chat box, and the little red bubble should open up right now, and you could all see the chat that we are having there. So this is using the chat function to interact with you, and you could also do it by camera, like someone is waving. You could have little games with the cameras. one thing was very, very funny. When I got a training how to do interactions on a webinar, we all had a post-it, and she was asking questions. And in the beginning, we all covered our cameras. We placed a post-it on top. And when we were saying yes, or when we were saying yes, she asked us to pull off the post-it. And when we were saying no, she said, leave on your post-it. That was really, really interesting because everybody had on their cameras and we could interact. It was a bit more emotional because we were a group of, I think, 14 people, and we could see all of us. So camera is a great way to interact during a webinar. When you have all your cameras switched on, that's always a bit more tricky. You could choose the speaker side so that the people listening to you can just have the speaker on a big picture, or they can choose show all, and then they see all the cameras. Right. Okay. Also, of course, you can interact using the microphone. To interact with the microphone, they can just turn it on, talk loud out, but this is only suitable for small groups. And you already experienced the Mentimeter. The Mentimeter is the best choice to go for when you have bigger client groups or a bigger audience. And it's also fun to see because you can visualize it much easier. Yeah, and then of course, as Claudia showed it earlier, the PowerPoint write in. So you can write it in and work along what you were actually saying. This is always a good choice to do, and but it's a bit more tricky and a bit more work for you. So you need to be confident using it during the webinar. You need some time to get used to it, to try it out. I now, because we were talking about interactions, and I now want you all to interact with me, write it in the chat box and let me know what kind of interaction you would prefer. Would you prefer the chat function? Would you prefer camera, microphone, Mentimeter, PowerPoint? Yeah, just let me know using the chat function here on our GoToMeeting platform. It's the little bubble next to the people and the settings. Just click onto the bubble and write me a note in the chat box. I will write to you again there as well. Hey, you guys, let me know. All right, so I hope you guys can find it. Don't be shy. If you're not sure, you can just put 1, 2, 3 or 4 or 5 as a number. 1 for Klaus Mentimeter and camera chat. Great, thank you, Klaus. You can enter also just 1 for chat function, 2 for camera, 3 for microphone, 4 for Mentimeter, and 5 for the PowerPoint. If you get comfortable, maybe you get comfortable later. I hope you're all there with me, right? Are you? Klaus is there, great. I hope the others too. All right, so as you can see, interaction is a bit tricky. Oh, Sandra, PowerPoint, that's great. Hi, Sandra, thank you. As you now see, it's a bit tricky to get them interactive with you because people are not so used to these new media, but I'm pretty sure we will educate our audience to get used to it. We will get our, oh, Sandra, nice to see you, hi there. And we will get them used to it, we will get them educated using it, and yeah, I'm pretty sure we will all going to have lots of fun working on this. Okay, but my personal setup, that's a huge topic, and also a very personal one, because, well, style is always, well, very, very personal, and also always really intense to choose. Okay, so before I set up a webinar, I always consider my personal wardrobe. and I also prepare myself. Imagine you are right now only one little box above your presentation. Your smile and your presentation should be the focus. Your presentation is highly important, and it is very important that there is no distraction from your face. So make sure you shine. For the girls, intensify your makeup. When you look in the mirror and still think you look quite normal, that's not enough. When my colleagues are now meeting me outside, they always look at me like, oh, you wear makeup? Yes, because I had a webinar today. So I always make sure that I have all the tools very close by. And as you can see, I got my makeup here, everything very close. And before I start, I just refresh my lipstick. I always choose a very, very bright color because my skin is so pale. And yeah, but lots of rouge, nice visible lip color will give you better attention and makes it unconsciously easier to follow when you talk. Sometimes this also helps when the lighting is not perfect. Let's see, what do you think is the right clothes to wear? Oh, maybe let's see firstly of this picture here, because well, this is a picture of me, obviously, with normal makeup in the normal lighting, and I do not, I wear like a really pale lip gloss there. This is my normal day-to-day makeup when I'm in the office. I also wear a jacket above it, and I look very pale and not really fresh. And if we slide to the next picture, you can see this is me without the jacket and just with a brighter lipstick color on it. Still not that perfect, but it looks really all right when I'm using the Logitech camera. This is done with my mobile camera, so the lighting is not really suitable for camera, but it is very suitable for webinars. It is exactly in the same light as I did it, as I have it right now. So you can see my makeup now is a bit more with the color. I put away the jacket, so I'm a bit more focused and a bit easier to catch and easier to look at. Do you say it like this? Easy to look at? I was just complimenting myself. All right, so talking about this jacket you can see there, let's see, what do you think is the right clothes to wear? What is the right clothing, the right wardrobe? I think I prepared a next Mentimeter. So guys, get onto your Mentimeters, switch on the cameras here, and just scan the QR code. Oh, wait. Yeah, then open it there. Check. And now just join me. What do you think is the right outfit? What do you think? Maybe it's a red turtleneck, or is it plain? Yeah. Maybe it can be actually everything. A boring style. Yeah, boring is actually good. That's really nice. Plain, no patterns. Really good about that one too. Yeah, nice. Some people always say like black is the right color to choose, but I don't agree, because as you can see today, I'm wearing a gray. But let's see what we can have a picture here on our presentation again, Jenny. That would be great. Thank you. So as you can see, this is me with the exact same makeup as we saw it previously. It is the same hairstyle, everything is the same, but I'm wearing actually my favorite dress. So this dress you're seeing there is like, every time when I wear this, I get lots of compliments, I feel very comfortable, but it's a lot going on that picture, and people were not really looking into my face. People were more looking onto the other to the pattern. And when we talk about this, that you can see now the difference, that you're focusing on the face and not on my outfit at that time. And for a successful presentation and for a successful webinar, it is important that people are more focusing on your lips and your face, because your face are always transporting your message as well. And well, still it's a nice dress though, I find. But the better choice for this webinar is a plain, very soft and smooth top. It doesn't need to be black. It can be also like gray, or it can be a light blue, or any light color. This always seems to be a bit more friendly, but make sure that you do not have any pattern, that it does not have too many details and not too big cutouts. Like a huge décolleté can sometimes distract also from your face. It depends from your figure, but it can distract. Okay, actually really important to wear is the right clothes. Big and flowery clothes can distract and seem to be chaotic. Small pattern can look unruly, irritating through the camera. Always consider the background and what you're going to wear. The background should be calm and with no office atmosphere. The focus is your topic and your presentation. If you keep books or pictures in the background, your students will become distracted and try to figure the background out, right? As you see now on this little picture, this is a bit more like, yeah, there's the office in the back. People were like, oh, is this the light that she's using? Oh, I can see her laptop. Oh, there's a message popping up. You know, these are the kind of ideas and thoughts that will roll through your brain while watching my presentation. We use this kind of roll up for our presentation. Maybe it's on the next picture, Jenny. This roll up here. So this is a picture of the roll up behind me today. I'm sitting in this office right now. And as you can see, this is a plain background. There's no distraction, and you can look me in my face and you can follow what I'm actually telling you. A background, yeah. This is perfect. Thank you very much. As a background, you have to have a calm and focusing area. So let me know, do you prefer A or B picture here? Because I want to interact with you again. Maybe you can answer me in the chat function again. Do you think A is a good choice, or should we go for B? Well, I was already promoting B a lot. Klaus is saying B. Amira as well, right? Yeah, B is the much better choice. Yeah, I think so too. But I'm not sure if you have noticed, quite a few people, you need to buy a background, Karen. Yeah, but this is what you never really consider, right? You just do it like the others. And actually, when I was following any kind of presentation or webinars from other brands, or when I got an education myself, I always looked into the shelves of the people they were presenting. And I was like, oh, look, she has a book of this and she has a book of that. And he is having a picture of his kids in the back. So a roll up is perfect to shelter your private home from your audience, to get them focused and to be successful. The right camera angle is the next topic we are coming to. Right now you can see this is a picture of me just when I open my laptop and just place the when I'm just placing the camera on top of my laptop. And to be honest, nobody looks good from a weird angle below. This is for good. Well, it's not. To be honest, there is a reason why aesthetic surgery has improved the last months while Corona, because people were forced into online meetings and they all looked at themselves having these kind of online meetings and were like, oh, I do not look good from this angle. So this is obviously not the right angle, but no surgery needed, folks. Just place the camera in the right angle. But on the other hand, If you place it too high, you seem small and less competent, like in this picture, right? Can you see it? You see me sitting very below. I can actually create it for you here. It is a totally different perspective when I'm talking to you like this. It has a childish attitude. I seem to be younger, which is nice as well, but it is not looking competent. It's not looking, oh, wait a second. I'm getting the table down again. It's not looking competent. It's not really engaging, and well, it's not setting the focus right to follow you during your presentation. If you place it too high, you seem small and less competent, as you can see it in this picture. Try to keep the camera as close as you can, but keep a frame a few inches around your face. As you can see here in that picture, I took it too close, and this is like, well, it's a bit clingy, right? It's a bit too close. We don't want to have an online meeting with this distance. We need to have a certain frame, a certain surrounding, and keep it clear, keep it clean. But yeah, and also like being this far away, it's making me more far away from you as well. So having the perfect frame, a few inches here, more inches there, gives you the right place to shine. The next thing is the perfect level for your eyes. Like you can see it in this picture, the camera is exactly on my eye level. It is not below and it's not too high up. People tend to, when they take selfies, they used to take them from this angle because they looked a bit thinner and the shape of face was a bit nicer. But having it directly on your eye level subconsciously gives your participants the idea and the feeling that you are on the right level with them, on the same level, that you are coaching them, that you are supporting them. And this is always a really, really good and helpful position. As you can see here on the, this is the perfect angle, this is the perfect presentation. It's not because it's me, it's just because it is a few inches above my head. It has space to the side. It ends here. It doesn't show too much of my body. It sets the focus right to my face. And it's also keeping an engaging interaction and engaging face and presentation to look at. All right, so this is the perfect level and the perfect balance. So what do you think? Where should you look at during your own presentation? It's because not only like I have the camera on my eye level, but do I look here to the side? Do I look there or should I look there? Let's have a look at the Mentimeter again. So take out your cameras again, guys. Scan the QR code. Open the Mentimeter here. Oh, we need to refresh it. There it is. As you can see, do you think you should look at the students, at the presentation, or should you look at the camera? Let's see, what else do we have there? Yeah, one is thinking the presentation, one is thinking the camera, and yeah, that's amazing. Oh, guys, you really get used to the Mentimeter now. This is really great. Thank you very much. And it also makes you a bit more engaged into the topic. And because you are part of the process, you now better understand what I'm trying to communicate to you. Okay, so most of you think you should look at the presentation, and the majority thinks it's best to look at the camera. And it is actually the perfect place to look at the camera. You could also look at a small place below. Let me take you behind the scenes so you can actually see this is the perfect place to look at, right into the camera. And when we look at the next page, you can see how my desk is set up. All right, so I have my little camera there, and right below there's a little Word document, and on this Word document I have my notes, so that I'm not losing track of my presentation, that I can follow with you, that I can read with you, and well, yeah, that we can stay well focused while doing it. I really like this little note, but it still gives you, because it's just below the camera, it gives you a bit of feeling that you straight look into it. If I would have my notes here on the side, I would talk to you the whole time like this, which is not engaging at all. And if I would look onto the people I'm talking to, it would be like this, right? And this is also not engaging you. But looking right into the camera and connecting with you is much, much better for transporting my subjects. But it also needs a bit of confidence, because looking straight into a camera sometimes can make you nervous. Well, it is a camera. So keep your notes right below your camera, so it makes it much easier for you to keep track. And it is kind of a security window where you can escape from or to. Okay, all right. So this is it. Let's see, I'm actually 3 minutes earlier, like I'm finishing 3 minutes early. But let's see what else we have here. All right, so as you can see, this is how you perfectly present yourself having a webinar. I like to be a bit mobile, so I'm not sitting on a desk with a huge desk chair. I always have a table that I can lift up, so I'm standing, and I just have a little bar stool where I can relax and sit at. All right, I hope you took a lot from this. Is there any question left? Claudia, what do you think? Is there any question I left open which needs to be answered? What are the others thinking? Just use the chat function to get in touch with me, or if you're brave enough, switch on your microphones and just let me know what kind of question is left for you. Is there anything? Claudia, are you still there? Oh yeah, there you are.
Yes, I think you did it very well. It was a very detailed information you gave us, so it's fine. And yeah. Thank you.
So no questions left. Tatiana saying hairdressers from Ukraine are grateful. Everything is clear and very interesting. Thank you very much, Tatiana. Thank you also very much for translating. I know it's not easy job, especially when we're talking quickly like I do. So sorry for that. And
thank you. Everything is clear, and you talk really not very fast. That's okay. I try to translate everything simultaneously. I just want to say that our hairdressers are grateful for you. They are in Skype, so they cannot be so interactive, but they want to do it. And so I'm here and I translate them, and they listen to me in Skype. So that's why they're not so interactive. So sorry for that. But they take all your tips, all your advices to their memory, and they will get it in their work. And they ask you about that interactive platforms. Do you create them by yourself and they can get them in their work, or it's just the idea for them to develop their own ideas?
Yeah, actually we can share that screen for you so you can see it. Jenny, could you open Mentimeter and just show us the setting page, you know, how to set it?
Okay.
So Jenny is opening it up for us quickly so we can show it to you and that you can have a look.
Okay, I'll give this information for the hairdressers so they can get this and look how to do it correctly, because Of course,
Yeah.
now the reality has changed and we are not used to it, and it's difficult to work in this digital time. And that's why it's difficult. The ideas are very good, but they need to learn how to do it correctly.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tatjana.
Thank you. Thank for you.
Mentimeter is just a web page, and when you leave the presentation mode, Jenny, they can see the setting page. Yeah, exactly. So Mentimeter, and then go to your presentations. You can just join there for, yeah, of course you need to sign in an account, but then you can see that we are setting up different diverse yeah, presentations there. Of course, we have other webinars yeah, in the background there. And so then you see it there, and there is where you're setting it up. You can enter your questions, you can choose the pictures for the background, you could also choose the content differently. So Mentimeter is one of my personal highlights, but I also really like the PowerPoint presentation that Claudia showed us previously, which is a bit easier maybe to do it right now because it is already available in your PowerPoint system. And Mentimeter needs a login or a license to work with. But this license, I'm not sure.
Enrique, there's a free version. You can, there's a free version as well. And it's really, yeah, maybe Jenny can show us. We can lead her to add a new slide into our presentation. Jenny, if you go to add to a new slide on the,
it's on the left side, the blue button. Yeah, yes, exactly.
And then you go to the type, and then you choose multiple choice or word cloud, whatever suits to your topic. Then put in a question. Mentimeter is easy. Question?
Yes. It's easy. Okay.
It's really easy.
Easy, yes. Really, exactly. I think that our hairdressers haven't heard about it, but I think when they will know what is it, it won't be any difficulty in using it. So just now they don't know about it, so that's why it's difficult. But for that moment, they will look how it works, and I think they will use it in their work. That's okay, thank you. We just didn't know about it for that moment, but now we know and we are going to use it.
Great. So Tatjana, I think the best that I just set those things together, how to set up the interaction into the PowerPoint, and also how to work with Mentimeter, and then you can choose what kind of interaction might be interesting for you. And with that, I think that's perfect.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, everything is clear. We just need to get into this digital world with all these things and go on working with that, because now it's difficult because we don't have any practice in it, so that's why it's difficult, but we are gonna do it. Thank you very much.
If you guys, all of you, have any kinds of questions, please do not hesitate to get in touch with us. We are more than happy to help and to support and to share, and also we just like to
and you
help
told that you have all these instructions in YouTube, yes, with using some like Claudia was explaining about how to use PowerPoint for the presentation, how to do it step by step, and you have it in English, yes, because there was the menu in German, and it's a little bit difficult because if it's all in English, it's clear, but when it's mixed, it's a little bit difficult to understand.
There are many people who set it up on YouTube, and you can also look for a Russian version or Ukraine version or anything. But I think it's just enter how to work with PowerPoint or anything to YouTube, and they will.
With the PowerPoint, we know about it. I have worked with it, but with the Mentimeter, really we haven't heard about it before. But now, we're going to learn it, how to do it.
I think I will set up a little explanation to use it, and then we will send it to you by the
Okay,
export.
thank you. Yes.
Thank you
very much. Thank you. Yeah.
Is there any other question left? To all of you guys, I think we're fine. Good to go. We're finishing 5 minutes early then. If you guys feel comfortable, because we would like to see you. Sandra already has switched on her camera. Hey Sandra, again, we're really great to see you. You all guys can switch on your cameras. We will stop the recording right now, so you won't be recorded. Jenny is on right now as well. Hey Jenny. Yeah, and if you guys feel comfortable, just switch on your cameras. Hi, Maya, really great seeing you. Hi there.